The United States government is selling Bitcoin, trying to engrave FUD into our markets. What crypto narratives should be watching out for? Because CoinGecko released a really in-depth thread on the projects that you need to watch here in the future. Today, guys, it's time to discover crypto.
Ow! Ow.
Capital flight is coming to the United States. The dollar is going to zero.
And that's what makes Bitcoin so special. You have to have gone through a couple cycles to understand.
Once the price is able to clear this level, the breakout is on its way.
This is your indication to jump in now.
Now, I actually can't believe this, but there is a chance that Elon Musk is getting ready to buy Cardano. So, of course, having the Cardano king here, I don't know if you saw that Twitter post this morning. We're going to get to it in today's episode, but is Elon Musk buying Cardano? Which altcoins should you be buying? And is this dip going to continue lower? That is what we're going to find out today. Looking at crypto bubbles here, guys, we have, of course, some green on the day. ENA, we're going to be covering a little bit later in this stream as well, up 40%. One of the biggest movers, brand new project. You hear Nick booing it, but I think it's just because he didn't hop on it. Is that what happened?
Oh, they got roasted in their Twitter spaces.
Oh, did they? What was the Twitter space roast? Was it you roasting them?
They don't have that much liquidity right now. And they have $1 billion market cap, right?
Yeah, we're going to show that.
So people were savaging them, saying, explain how you're different than Terra Luna. Go. And they really didn't have a great explanation.
Like, well, hello, brother. Just wait one moment.
Yeah, that reminds me of Terra Luna. It's like, Terra Luna, where's the yield coming from? They didn't have a good explanation.
Yeah. It's kind of like, what was it? Celsius's founder. He's like, if they can't explain where the yield comes from, you can't trust it. And then he couldn't explain. He couldn't even explain the yield. It seems to be a trend in this space, but we'll get to that in today's episode. We have crypto.com on the daily performing up 13%, which could show, guys, as exchange tokens start moving upwards, this could mean retail is starting to hop in and get ready for that euphoric phase. We have Flare up 26%, Jupiter up 8%. Let's go ahead and head over to the CoinGecko. CoinGecko is showing Bitcoin hovering at $66,700, Ethereum at $3,300. What project did you end up buying yesterday? Was it Dogecoin?
I ended up buying a little Doge live on camera.
Yeah, up 3% today. So you may have actually caught the local bottom there on that. We have Solana here almost at $200 again. BNB $562. But chat, I definitely want to hear from you guys before we do the repetition here, which is smash that like button to make sure that your cryptos are in the top 24 hours. But what projects did you buy yesterday? Did you pick up any of your favorite altcoins on this dip? Or did he sit on the sidelines? I'm curious to know in chat. In the last 24 hours, DZ, we have Athena here up 38% at $1 billion market cap, 1.4 billion. But we are going to talk about liquidity here in this episode because liquidity is what matters. If you're not liquid, you're not. Give me something.
And folks, if you're not liquid, you're just bone dry, and you don't want to be bone dry in these markets. Athena is not a stable coin. I see that as 99. It looks like it's a stable coin, right? Oh, wait, did that stablecoin repeg?
It does have a stablecoin, and that's why people are giving it so much shit.
Well, we'll have some price predictions on that in this episode. We have Flare now up 30% in the last 24 hours or so, up 30% for the weekly. BitGet token. This is what I really want to talk about here today, especially and get your thoughts and your expertise on this. As someone that's been in multiple cycles, both of you actually, we have BitGet token and Kronos leading the 24-hour narrative. What does that usually mean? If I was brand new coming into the markets, what does it mean if these exchange tokens are the ones that are moving the loudest?
That typically means there's a little bit of excitement in the markets, especially for the DGen picks, that you have to maybe use these DGen exchanges to go ahead and get those DGen coins that you love.
True. Yes. And I like to follow another metric that's really cool that you can't do from here. You can only do it on your phone, but go to your Apple iTunes or your app store on your iPhones if you have an iPhone, or your Google Play Store if you have your Android, you're one of those people, and see what position these apps rank. If Coinbase and Gate.io, BitGet, or KuCoin, guys, they're starting to trend, that traditionally means retails are entering the market very heavily. We have Chainlink being bought from Donnie J. We have Pepe from Astropine. We have some CSwap when it was 13 cents. Shout out to Johnny December. CSwap is now at like 24 cents today. So you're up over 100%. You made me laugh. You made me grin. Got to hit that like button again and again. Wow, we're spitting some bars.
I like that. Just don't hit it an even amount of times. You have to hit it an odd number of times. Otherwise, you just cancel itself out.
Jeremiah Dixon is coming out here with the rap. Yeah, there you go. Sidelines, though, we have Munchamoose. Well, guys, speaking of losers on the sidelines, we have, of course, Wormhole down 22%, which we're going to also talk about. Another, look at that, guys. The top loser is a project that launched in the last 24 hours, and the top winner is someone that launched in the last 24 hours. We're going to talk about that liquidity, though, because it really matters here in this episode. Stacks, though, leading today's losers. My heart, it feels like I've been stabbed straight through it. Down to $3.27 after performing absolutely madness over the last 3 months. We have Litecoin, 5%, makes sense. Aptos here, 4.8%. Bitcoin Trash down 4.6%. Phantom Network, 3.2%. And really, no other movers to the downside here. So, of course, guys, we're going to go through these bubbles, give you guys our price predictions and just thoughts and insights on these products as we break down today's video. But the first article is the most important today, and that is going to be the Department of Justice moving 30,000 Bitcoin connected to Silk Road seizure. Ooh. I don't know. What are your first thoughts on that?
All right, so the first thoughts was billions of dollars of Bitcoin that just was on the move. And so a lot of people are assuming, well, U.S. government, they're just going to sell it all at once. That isn't what's happening. It's 30,000 Bitcoin. Yesterday's price was around $139 million. We covered it on ATB. I don't know what the 30,000. The 30,000
is 30,000's worth $2 billion.
Okay, the 30,000, yeah, but what they sold, yeah, good point there. What did they end up selling that ended up being
0.001? So I think it was 69, was it like 69 cents or something? $69 is what they sent on Bitcoin for the test transaction. Is that what you covered?
No. So if here, I'll pull up.
More?
There's more. I'll pull up Zach's tweet on this. So Zach was tweeting about this, and again, this is, I mean, they could be moving some right now the last 2 minutes here, but we scroll down, boom, update. 1,999 Bitcoin was transferred to the same Coinbase Prime deposit address.
Wow.
Where they do end up doing the deposits there. So $2 billion on the move. It looks like of the 30,000, they may have sold about 2,000 of the 30.
So there has been confirmation that they've actually sold some of that.
That has been transferred to the same Coinbase Prime deposit address.
And isn't that just wild, guys? It was the U.S. government behind this recent downside action in the markets, where we plummeted from about 69,500 yesterday all the way down to 64K, getting everybody panicking. They're in panic mode. They're fearing. They're like, oh my goodness, we're going to go lower. It was the U.S. government not understanding liquidity. Or do they, is actually the real question here. Are they purposely inciting FUD before the Bitcoin halving?
I think they understand a little bit of liquidity. I heard a great rumor on ATB. Folks, you got to watch ATB. We had some pretty hot takes. Here's the best rumor I heard regarding this seizured Bitcoin on the move, seized Bitcoin. Maybe, and this is a speculative territory we're going into, maybe Larry Fink wanted a cheap OTC deal, and we're talking about Bitcoin running out on exchanges, talking about harder and harder to acquire the Bitcoin that is needed. Maybe it's Wall Street. I joke saying Larry Fink and BlackRock, but maybe some whales needed that OTC liquidity. This is one of the easier ways to make it happen.
They definitely could. The biggest takeaway from this for me, guys, if you don't know who Ross Ulbricht is, pay attention, smash that like button, and let's get some W's in the chat for Ross. Free Ross in the chat, okay? Free Ross. I want to see you guys say free Ross. If you don't know who Ross is going to be one of the developers behind, of course, Silk Road. Back in 2013, 2012, whenever the government decided to actually seize this Bitcoin, the Bitcoin they're selling, the Bitcoin the U.S. government is going to be profiting billions of dollars off of, is because they took it from this developer of Silk Road, who has now spent 11 years in prison. He's 40 years old for developing code. He was sentenced to life in prison. And the government is saying, you know what? Hey, you go to prison for this. We're going to take this money and we're going to just sell it.
Yeah, the official narrative, he committed conspiracy to traffic narcotics.
Yeah, again, if you guys haven't read Digital Gold, I think it was Digital Gold that talks about Ross Ulbricht. I would go read that book. It is a phenomenal book and gives you the history of Bitcoin.
And not only that, Ross may be the funniest member on Friends. I don't know.
True.
Some say Joey, some say Chandler.
I think it's Joey. It has to be Joey.
We have to do a poll now.
Ross is the big dork, It's but he does get Jennifer Aniston in the win, so I mean,
as I watched it when I was older, Ross became the funniest. When I was younger, Chandler was the funniest. So I ended up switching.
That's interesting.
We're getting a lot of Ross. A lot of Ross Gellers.
Well, we'll see here. Well, either way, guys, we have, of course, Bitcoin from the U.S. government moving on the run. This is causing a lot of FUD into the market. And now analysts are starting to push out their price predictions. Where is Bitcoin going to head next. So this is a post from an analyst that I showed you guys actually yesterday. I wanted to cover it one more time because it points out a bullish pennant where we have now a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 play out. This is a normal pattern, guys, and it does usually equate to upside bullish price action. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? Usually it breaks out to the upside. So the analyst here talking about this bullish pattern believes that we could be seeing an upside position of $80,000. Though the analyst is upbeat, Bitcoin might find support at March 20 lows of around 61,500, which is kind of the area and key level that most bears are watching. The people that are shorting the market the most, which are part of that $20 billion worth of liquidations we talked about yesterday, they're the ones that are going to cause what I believe will be a short squeeze back to the upside. So showing just the amount of inflows and, of course, all the ETFs, I think we're going to get to ARK investments, with outflows here later in this episode. But right now, this analyst does believe we could see an $80,000 Bitcoin by the Bitcoin halving.
I'm doing some live TA right here, right now, everybody. This is the bull flag pennant that he was referring to. And if we just take the poll and drag it to the upside here, we can see, wow, look at that. The top end of 80,000, $89,000 for those with the boomer eyes.
Wow. One more time. Zoom in on that.
$89,000.
Maybe, call me a pessimistic for, I just, dude, the euphoria I think that will come into the markets at 80K is like going to scare me, because that's where I'm going to be like, all right, I need to take profits off the table. I think once we break like base off inflation, I think that's the one last metric bears are holding on to is, well, we haven't broken the inflation record yet. If you adjust Bitcoin's all-time high based off inflation, it's around like $78,000, $79,000. So once we break that, I think the road from 80 to 100K is going to be a lot quicker from 40 to 70K, if that makes sense.
That's a tall order because it went from 40 to 70 pretty quickly. I'll do the math.
A couple
on that
months,
as well.
I think it went from October. I don't know. Was it January that it went from that? So it would have been a month and a half.
I'll tell you right here, right now. So if we go down to 40K to see when it first happened here, I mean, technically it kind of first happened at this point right there. After the breakout, we went up to 70 roughly in 46 days. That's nuts. A month and a half, literally exactly a month and a half.
But that's what euphoria is, right? That's why I don't think we've had this euphoric rally yet, because euphoria, man, if you were in 2021 chat or if you were in the 2018 cycle, euphoria is like 2 weeks. Like you just see candlesticks that are $10,000 and you go, what is, you're driving from your time of getting into the car and going the 5-minute drive or the 10-minute drive to your grocery store, your portfolio is up like 2-3x. And you're just like, okay, did I just figure out the ultimate money glitch, or is this just how the Federal Reserve feels like every single day when they get in their car? Because that money is just being printed. That's the euphoria I'm waiting for here. But this is and could happen because of the Bitcoin ETFs update. So this is a really cool thread that shows that ARK reported a large outflow of $88 million. We'll get to in just 1 second.
Brandon E. just pointed out something pretty interesting. We're going to bust out of the pennant the day after the halving. Yeah, if you run this out, look at that. The day after the halving is when this would be telegraphed to break out. Very interesting data right there.
Would it be the first bull run that we pump after the halving?
Well, we do usually pump after the halving, 8 months after.
8 months after. But usually there's like a
what I meant was dumps. It's like buy the rumor, sell the news.
Yeah,
I remember 2017 reading on Reddit and people talking about the daily issuance and what was going from 25 to 12 maybe back then. And then 2016, oh man, I thought it was going to go up. It was going to go up, and then Bitcoin just ended up crashing.
Yeah. No, and that's a good point. I'm very curious to see how this one's going to play out because there's so much happening too with the Bitcoin halving. You have Rune's protocol launching, which is going to be opening up meme coins and everything, the Bitcoin's ecosystem. We have the spot ETF for Ethereum in May, as well as actually more than likely going to be approved in August. So are we going to get like are we 8 months ahead of that as well with these altcoin rallies? I don't know, and we'll have to see and find out. But today's flows are going to be interesting for the markets, guys. Let the fireworks begin with the ETF outflows. ARK is now the biggest loser in terms of outflows against Grayscale Bitcoin Trust. Now, for you guys that don't know in chat, GBTC was the reason why we were seeing selling pressure for weeks. Everybody's like, oh, everybody's dumping their Grayscale Bitcoin Trust. And it was because that ETF was more expensive than other competitors like IBIT from BlackRock. BlackRock with Larry Fink came in, dropped a dime of a project, incited, gave a lot more incentive for people to actually buy their product, and it caused everybody to flow into it. So now we're seeing ARK be that top loser here. But on the bright side, GBTC only had 82 million outflows. So Grayscale Bitcoin Trust, not only running out of the Bitcoin to sell off, but they are seeing less and less selling pressure coming out of their ETF flows.
That's not even mentioning Mr. 100, who's still going on sprees left and right.
Yes, and that leads us to, can we see over $111 billion in April? Because March was insane with the price action with Bitcoin's price, and this was primarily due to the billions of dollars that were attracted to these ETFs through BlackRock and these financial products. Chat, I want to ask you guys, yes or no? Simple yes or no. Is BlackRock a good thing for crypto because it's going to pump our bags, or are they not, right? As of right now, the Ethereum ETF approval prospects look extremely grim. And this is coming from Balchunas, Eric, with Bloomberg, senior ETF analyst, recently opined that such a product had a mere 25% approval rate of taking place in May. This is following that part where we're going to talk about in this live stream why I am planning on taking like 80 to 90% of my positions off the table from the open market, because I do believe we will get a pullback. And if we don't get that approval from that ETF fund, to me, I'm going to follow that historical 4-year cycle where it's like, yeah, we get a bit of a pullback. That's where I accumulate again, and then get ready for the launch of the ETF in August.
Yeah, and I actually have the data for yesterday's ETFs. It was squeaked in. I mean, this is an ant fart of profit right there. You can see we had a little bit of a green day yesterday, just slightly though, $40 million.
Well, with Arkham Intel, they've actually done a 180. I think everybody hated on Arkham because they're like, oh, this is the intelligence of the blockchain ecosystem. And it's like, well, how long has the intelligence already been watching us? Because the DOJ is literally dumping billions of dollars.
That we think of the Joker and the Riddler too,
Yeah, it's just evil. It's just, that's a good point. That is such a good retail perspective, like on the psychology of markets. Like just because it has a name that like Arkham Asylum, it's like, oh no, this is bad. This is not good. This is scary.
It was like Sam Bankman-Fried, why they had the name Alameda Research. Well, his explanation was like, well, if you had like Bitcoin Korean arbitrage company, you can't get any banking, you can't get any kind of loans, you can't get any kind of approval. But when you have research in your company's name, everybody wants to approve you. That was what he said, paraphrasing.
Well, either way, I mean, it's such a good point. I love that point. The Arkham viewpoint of the market as well. We don't need to explain this, right? This is like, whoa, what is that clutter? It looks kind of like a flower from afar.
I feel like I'm in Arkham Asylum.
Yeah, you're going crazy.
I feel like Jim Carrey in the movie 23.
You've been locked away in what's the closed confinement?
Hyperbolic or the deprivation tank, isolation chamber.
Yeah. Isolation chamber here. But they saw last week $1.6 billion DZ of Bitcoin acquired on chain. So they're just, all that you guys need to take away from this is there's billions of dollars being purchased right now. So even when the US government is dumping their bags on us, trying to incite FUD, the asset managers and institutions are buying. Quant analyst Plan B unveils massive Bitcoin price target, saying $200,000 Bitcoin is very, very underwhelming. Now, this was a funny post because the following page is a Twitter thread by Bitcoin Power Law, Giovanni3508411 on Twitter. And I really recommend you guys actually give him a follow. I'm not on my personal account, but I actually follow him on my personal. It's because he talks about kind of a lot of these. What he does is he break down a lot of the analysts that are in the industry on Twitter that claim to be experts in physics, and they use these charts and all these mathematics, but they actually don't understand what they're talking about. He kind of trashes on Plan B here. He says, Bitcoin, see what I mean? Plan B draws these assets with huge dots. So Plan B will draw a bunch of dots and draw it out a line that says Bitcoin's going to hit this price by this date based off this reasoning. Now, because of that, he says, many of us look at these charts and try to understand what happens with Bitcoin. But if people don't know what they do, Plan B is what he's saying here, or you don't understand the math behind it, like most people, then it's just a circle jerk of wishful thinking and ignorance. So he cares about science, people, and Bitcoin, and he's essentially saying that don't follow Plan B's charts here, because it's kind of just like hocus pocus. It's almost like astrology at a certain scale. So, with that said, I agree with that. I very much agree with that, because Plan B's charts, I think, are very toxic for newcomers coming into the industry, because they see this bright rainbow chart. They go, oh, I'm not going to sell to 250K Bitcoin. When we all know that there's going to be a euphoric, rally here when me and you were sitting on this live stream talking to our chat, and Bitcoin just going from like 85,000 to 90,000 in the midst of our live stream.
Or not only that, they see the chart that has factors of 10. So it has, Bitcoin to $10, $100, $1,000, 10,000, 100,000. And then it just makes it look like, well, Bitcoin from 10K to 100K, this is the cycle I'm in. It looks like it's pretty feasible. So 100K to $1 million, that's going to be easy as well. He kind of He does the math. I've looked at the math. I'm not Ben Cowan. I don't have a math master's right now, but you look and he has a little bit of a difficulty adjustment each factor that we go up from. So 10K to 100K, a little bit harder than 1K to 10K. 100K to $1 million, it's a little bit harder. But to me, he's just making, I think it's like 0.29. I'm not going to get into the math and everything, but it's going to be significantly harder for Bitcoin to go from 100K to $1 million relative 10K to 100K.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you.
We have breaking news. Lee, where's it at? Lee has a huge news.
Done him a whole corner.
Done. Lee Bruin, done. I'm now a whole coiner. The family's going to have to wait for the new kitchen.
Hey, that new kitchen may come a lot quicker than you think.
Hey, let's all hit the like button. He's a whole coiner.
Likes. Can we get some W Lees in the chat? W Lees.
You know what? Hit the like button one more time. I'm a whole coiner on Chainlink today. About 0.9 to 1.0. I'm a whole coiner.
Guys, I also have one whole Litecoin.
Woo! All right.
And shout out to Lee's wife there. Let him out of the doghouse. I think, he's doing great things for you. Hopefully we're on the family room like TV right now.
A really nice kitchen addition for 5% of a Bitcoin.
He's gonna get like one of those high-tech fridges because of this Bitcoin purchase that like tells you exactly when the food expires and it like teleports and visualizes a hologram of clean food. Yes. But
a hologram of Satoshi hands you your pint of milk.
Here's your cabbage, whatever it is. But BlackRock has almost everything in its hands, and when you hear and see that every coin is working with some company that they own anyway, they are present in every place in the crypto industry. 100%. BlackRock is in behind the space, guys. Watch what they do, not what they say. And speaking of watching what they do, let's watch what long-term Bitcoin holders are doing because they begin taking chips off the table at record highs. So Glassnode highlights intensified profit taking amidst Bitcoin's rallies to new heights. Glassnode's 13th weekly 2024 on-chain analyst, too big. They just need to summarize that too. Hey, we did some research and it indicated a strategic shift easy among Bitcoin investors as the digital reached a new peak. The peak here. The report shows a significant $2.6 billion per day in realized profits, and that came at the top of the cycle. So the firm's in-depth review provides insights to the market's recent reaction to Bitcoin's price movements, noting that a 15.4% pullback from the 73,000, too many big numbers here, is going to happen before we see a strong recovery. And that's exactly what we're seeing right now. We're seeing about a 15%. Is it 15%? Does Nick have that?
Well, you're missing my favorite part. My favorite part about this article right here is this sentence right here. By both duration and distance from the peak, the market is a near identical spot to December 2020 relative to that cycle. So right now, we're kind of in the December 2020 phase, which was a good phase to jump in on crypto.
Yeah, and let me pull that up for just a chat here. We're going to go to December of 2020, because that's before the bull run, right? That's before, it's about taking off when Elon Musk is first coming into it. December 2020 is, let me pull out the horizontal line so everybody can see it, is right where
that was the month we
start testing the previous all-time highs. So December 2020. So this also happened in 2017 to 2018 when it was breaking its previous all-time highs. So seeing the profits being taken around this range, the consolidation and the accumulation on both ends, this is what generally equates us to seeing that next big upside price action in Bitcoin's price, which is meaning, potentially we're halfway through this bull run based off that metric and that model, which is, interesting to watch here.
Yeah, I mean, we are 8 months ahead of schedule. I was a Q3. I put out a bold price prediction. I said the top is going to happen September 27th, 2025. And I'm not really shaken out of that prediction just yet. But now I'm starting to feel like, Q2, that's definitely in the cards. Q2 2025 for the top.
Well, we have Bitcoin miners seeing a record $2 billion in monthly revenue. This kind of just makes sense. Data from the block shows that miners are earning billions of dollars. And of course, with 85.81 million coming from transaction fees. This right here, I want to talk about for chat. You guys want to know the next narrative? Transaction fees on Bitcoin's network. That is going to be ecosystem development. This is DeFi. This is NFTs and meme coins coming to Bitcoin through Rune's protocol. Start researching. It doesn't exist yet. It comes out on the Bitcoin Halving.
I mean, I should buy mining stocks, I wonder.
Josh, where did you buy mining stocks?
As fees go up, these mining companies are going to have, in addition to, the Bitcoin that they accrue with Bitcoin rewards, they'll have higher and higher fee generation.
Yeah, when do reports come out? Does anybody have quarterly earnings reports? Sure. Is it this month? Sure. Well, either way, we have Crypto Eunuch. Josh, where did you buy your glasses? I think I just got them at like LensCrafter, to be honest. They're like... I showed the staff in my Optician. I can't even read that word there.
A screenshot of you that didn't have
glasses.
anything like them. P.S. I'm not trying to impersonate you or just like your glasses. No, he's in the mirror. He's got his hat backwards right now.
You know, you got to like lick the lip.
Growing out the stubble, you know, the Eugene Levy stubble there.
Dude, and now we're going to turn the hat
again.
around and we're going to take the glasses off that are fake. No, I can't see now.
When you did that, you look like a fisherman.
Like a fisherman?
Yeah.
Dude, I cannot fish at all.
Shout out to Leanne's Angle or whatever the show was called.
I'm on a plan, so that's the first ones. That's all felt. Either way, guys, let's get back to the show here. We have Andrew Tate preparing for a multi-million-dollar Bitcoin bet. Well, on Twitter, guys, let me know what you would answer and how you would answer this Twitter post, okay? Buy $10 million worth of Bitcoin right now. If you had $10 million of Bitcoin today, chat, would you buy Bitcoin, yes or no? Simple answer. And Andrew Tate, he put yes and yes. So it looks like there's only one way he is going to go with the Bitcoin price action. He may have bought the dip with $10 million. But I'm curious to see what everybody's going to say there. Hester Pierce critiques SEC crypto regulation approach. During the SEC Speaks event, an initial sponsored by the Practicing Law Institute, SEC Commissioner Hester Pierce voiced her concerns, her criticism concerning that the regulatory approach for her agency towards the crypto industry is just kind of bad. You know, I think we all know where we're heading with this one.
Yeah.
Hester Pierce has really been spearheading the positive regulatory approach to crypto. She's still an SEC commissioner. She is still being paid by the same lobbyists that are lobbying all the other commissioners. So you got to take that with a grain of salt. But she's definitely a lot more pro-Bitcoin than Gary Gensler. In fact, there's no comparison within the difference of the two.
Yeah, it's a shadowy cabal of five elders, like we're some village in the Amazon or something. And right now, Gary Gensler is the lead elder.
This is a funny story here today because you hear about buybacks in crypto all the time. Did you know the United States does buybacks with the US dollar?
Yes.
Nick I knew he was going to be like, yes, let me get into this. And this is going to be, this segment, okay, is going to be brought to you by Kula DAO, Real World Assets, who are launching here very, very soon. Because Real World Assets, guys, are a narrative and a trend that are not only starting to pick up. I do need to pull up Kula DAO's website right here for you guys all, kuladao.io. Aligning interest, creating shared value. Kula connects global investors with a diverse array of real-world assets, as well as they want you to sign up for their ICO up and coming here, which we're going to just exit out of. Through the power of blockchain, Kula is reshaping the narrative of mining natural resources. This is gold, this is copper, this is silver, by profit sharing and providing governance to its local communities. Guys, real-world assets are going to be huge. They also just got massive regulatory licenses, and you can check out all their mining from, this is limestone concession right here that they're talking about. You can go check out the contracts. This is a narrative that is really starting to take off. Now, with that, okay, 200 million treasury buyback tomorrow afternoon, long end. This debt buyback operation will be conducted by the Treasury's fiscal agent, the Federal Reserve Bank of New York. Yes, the United States, guys, they do buybacks of our own money, which is so funny because they're doing buybacks with money that they print to pay off the debts that they accrue. So it's just, to me, it is literally Lunaterra. I hate using the word literally, but it is Lunaterra on a massive scale. And the only difference is you have the United States government backing it.
Yeah, well, we do have the British guy here. Literally, if you want him to come in, we just press a button and he'll just say literally.
Oh, yes, true.
I do have a real world asset victory lap to take, folks. Everybody who jumped in on this video, this is, make sure you watch out on last night's video. So we did this the day before that. 5 hottest altcoins on Cardano. One of them was a real world asset play. These are the top gainers in the entire Cardano ecosystem. We talked about World Mobile Token in a previous video. And then the one we mentioned just 2 videos ago was Indy, Synthetics real world asset play. It is up 30% on the 7-day, up 16% relative to Cardano. A World Mobile Token that's banking off that Elon, some rumors and stuff. And like you said, we'll talk about that in a few.
Yes, because is Elon buying Cardano? Chat, yes or no? Let me know what you think, because there's a crazy article. But speaking of real world assets, there is one that is falling, and that is the Vietnamese dong. Falls to record low against the dollar. And I just thought this was funny.
Chat. Don't laugh.
Zero chat. It just Beavis and Butthead. You just
all right. What's the real reason you brought it up?
Wait, that was
hang
all.
On.
I just
Josh,
thought it was.
How many Drakes is that?
How many Drakes is that?
Yeah.
That is 0.05% Drakes.
Oof.
Yes.
That's not a lot of Drakes.
It's a very small Drake. Very, very small Drake. Well, it's average. The U.S. stock market, though, now accounts for a massive 45% of global market cap. This is huge. Since 2008, the U.S. share has risen by 15% to the largest since 2004. The U.S. equity market size is now larger than India, China, Australia, Switzerland, Germany, Canada, UK, France, and Japan combined. People talk about how China is going to take over the United States. My question is this: when? W-E-N, when China, okay? Because right now, the U.S. equity market is on fire. The U.S. stocks are also accounting for almost 65% and more than 70% of the MSCI, ACWI, and the MSCI world indexes. So they are just on top of the world right now, guys, and it's not slowing down. I don't think a BRICS narrative is coming. And what this tells me, if the United States is getting bigger, right, and they're printing more and more money, what does that mean for crypto? It means there's going to be a higher need and a bigger demand for crypto because of the inflation that is going to be caused from this in second and third world countries, as well as just the depreciation in the value of you holding your US dollar. You're going to want to store it in something that is going to increase, that has upside. And that, in my opinion, is Bitcoin and the rest of the crypto market.
Yeah, it's not the dollar that has lost 25% of its value since 2020.
Ouch, man. That just sounds so
Stings,
bad. That's just who's president? The ratio between tech stocks and the S&P 500 is now over 2 standard deviations above the historical median. This I want to pull up. This is a really important chart for you guys. If you want to know, are we in a bull market? Are we in a bubble? Or are we in a bear market? Even during the dot-com bubble of the late 1990s, the metric peaked at 1.6, okay? During this time, the NASDAQ composite and the S&P 500 returned 1,167% and 667%. With the emergence of AI, U.S. markets are now almost entirely driven by tech stocks. This is the trend. This is what I think a lot of boomers just don't want to admit, right? A lot of your traditional financial sector that is in gold and copper, your traditional oil.
Coca-Cola stock.
I need to invest in sugar. You're like, okay, the new sugar, the new oil is going to be data, and it's only going to continue to trend that way as more artificial intelligence is adopted. So I think this is going to continue. Are we in a bubble? Like 100% obviously, but how big can that bubble get? We don't retrospectively actually know because we've never been there. This is an entire revolution. This is an industrial revolution, but technical. So we are going to see so much advancement and so many technological breakthroughs over the next 2 to 3 years. This doesn't tell me, hey, I should sell my bags right now. Right? Yeah. Because I don't know what that.
Well, tech is just going to be a higher and higher percentage. It almost seems like a dumb metric if you ask me. Ask yourself, all right, companies that are being created in the year 2030 to 2040, what percentage of them are going to be tech companies? Like almost all of them. So this number is just going to go higher and higher and higher and higher.
Yeah, I 100% agree. Which is fun because I saw it on CNBC the other day. I wish I had the clip. They were like, oh, but where this is 2008.
You're lumber stocks must outperform now.
And what I'm waiting for is to see semiconductors actually start trading as commodities. I think we are going to move to a time where that takes place just because of the demand shock.
KO Kev, I'll show you the new sugar. No, not this channel anymore. No.
Well, chat, at least show us your portfolios. I want to know what you guys hold because we're about to break down, let you guys know our thoughts, our professional opinions on, of course, or our personal opinions on your guys' favorite projects here in just a second in the altcoiner. But unexpected statement from Goldman Sachs. Despite the surge in prices, clients show no interest in cryptocurrencies. Can we stop being gaslit? Can we stop being gaslighted by these stupid ass banks? That's my one cuss word of the stream. Sorry, brother. If anybody catches that, I love you forever. But seriously, Goldman Sachs, one of the Wall Street banks with a negative stance on cryptocurrencies, continues to express doubts about the value of digital assets. We don't think it's an investment asset class. We're not big believers in crypto. What do you mean? The largest asset manager in the world just launched the most successful financial product of our generations, and there's 4 of them that are outperforming every other sector at the same time, and it's not slowing down. What the F do you mean?
Well, they have the world's dumbest reason. So they have their expert. What is the sentence he's saying? Why? If you can't put a value on it, then how can you be bullish or bearish? He asks. Well, the market has a value every second of every single day. It trades 24/7, unlike stock markets. And would you say the same thing to silver? Would you say the same thing to gold? I mean, what value are you putting on a commodity?
Yeah, I think we need some L's in the chat for banks. That's what we need. Dude, I'm tired of banks here. But Bank of Russia, definitely more bullish on crypto than Goldman Sachs.
Is that where Nina's been? She's been out of the office last couple of days.
No comment.
Yeah, no comment there. No comment there. What are you trying to say?
I just haven't seen her in a while.
What are you trying to say? Is she the one transacting this $51 billion in crypto?
Maybe.
Dude, Nina's just some crazy trader.
She's
been
crazy
arbitrage
whale.
trading
She
this whole
jumped
time.
in early.
Well, $51 billion in crypto during 2023, guys. Russia is a huge fan of crypto. This is the video I wanted to play today. I'm curious, guys, how many of you are from Canada in chat? Let's see some ones in chat if you're from Canada, because this is from a year ago, but it is just wild to see this at 48 seconds with Justin Trudeau. It's starting to trend on Twitter again. I just wanted to play this here. I don't know if you've heard this, but here you go.
Jeez.
Yeah. Angry Canadians? That's weird. It's gotten way worse since then.
Oh, yeah. Wait for the last part.
Oh, it's something crazy. Do they throw maple syrup on them?
No.
Followed by feathers? No.
It's right here where my finger is.
Do they hold up a picture of Fidel Castro?
Here it is.
Watch
3.
this. There he is right there in the middle.
You're going to hear it. There it is.
I love it.
Yeah, so I'm curious. We got a lot of Canadians in the chat. Is it as bad as this video makes it seem with Trudeau? Because right now he does seem to be the most hated political leader that I have ever seen. And just 5 years ago, we were having this conversation this morning. I feel like everybody was like, man, I'm going to move to Canada. Canada's way better. It's so much cleaner. It's so much safer. It's so much better. 5 years later, I don't know if I would. I don't know what I want to do. I watched The Bachelor not too long ago, and they went to Canada, and it looked beautiful. But besides that,
I'd rather go south. I'd go to cartel-controlled Mexico before I'd go to Trudeau and elite-controlled Canada.
Yeah, I feel like Trudeau's the guy that would sell your soul for a CBDC. Just gives me those vibes.
No, he would just like do a live sacrifice at Davos.
Whoa.
In a video game.
Speaking of live sacrifices, we have a $10 sacrifice to the chat here of I just bought Sololo.
Solola, the koala, Sawala.
That's
congrats.
hard.
I hope it does
Sola,
well.
the koala.
A koala-based meme coin should be called chlamydia, right?
Yeah.
No, their holders have chlamydia.
That's why it should be called that.
But sharing's commuting.
If it's a koala, it's a
community.
drop bear.
It's a community event. If you're in the koala community, you have the
you have to clap.
Let's keep this
family
friendly. The richest people in crypto, guys. This is going to be fun. Dude. This is going to be chat. Who do you think is the richest person in crypto? I want to see what you guys say. Who is the richest person in crypto? I guarantee it's not who you think it is going to be. Let me know who you think is the richest person in crypto, because it is myself, obviously, with the largest Bitcoin wallet.
After Satoshi.
After Satoshi. Who would you think it is?
Well, I read this. So.
Oh, you already read this? He's a cheater. He's a cheater, chat. Well, we have, of course, let me scroll down just a little bit. In the last decade, the digital assets industry has made zillionaires out of geeks, thieves, corporate suits, and shadowy anonymous internet users. Take, for instance, the anonymous hacker who stole more than $2 million worth of Bitcoin and ETH from the now shuttered Hong Kong crypto exchange Gatecoin in 2016. That is worth $542 million today. There's been hackers, there's been thieves, there's been billionaires created because of launching exchanges. And the first one, guys, okay, let me scroll down, is Satoshi Nakamoto down here. We could see it. We got some guesses in the chat. U.S. government, Michael Saylor.
Peter Schiff.
SBF.
Yeah.
Peter Schiff, dude, that would be such... Imagine.
Space Jason
imagine
says Richard Hart.
That was a good guess. Richard Hart is a good guess here, but no, he just has a couple billion in exit liquidity from Pulse Chain. But we have CZ, guys, none other than CZ. $47.7 billion is his his estimation on his net worth, which tells you that the $4.3 billion lawsuit, DZ, does it really matter that much? That's like a slap on the wrist.
It is. I mean, it's less than 10%.
And you know what's crazy is I guarantee you he's going to raise $4.3 billion for whatever project he brings up next.
And what was the narrative that he was talking about most recently?
Oh, man, was it decentralized science or was it Bitcoin layer 2s?
Oh, yeah. He did do a little
Bitcoin
bit of both.
L2,
but yeah,
I think it's a little bit of both. Yeah. No, I think we're onto a right track here, but
Rob
could be
got
biotech.
Is bringing up a good idea. CZ's wife, she's never on any of those lists. You're going to tell me she doesn't have any Binance equity? I find that hard to believe. She's the mother of his children.
The FBI is watching around. They're like, we got him. Like, you exposed them, Rob. But yeah, we have Brian Armstrong, number 3, CEO of Coinbase. Giancarlo, here at $9.2 billion. And then what's really interesting, this isn't like the Forbes top 100 list or Forbes 30 list, right, guys? We have anonymous Bitcoin whales that are just casually all through this list. So number 5, anonymous Bitcoin whale. Number 6 is the Mt. Gox hackers. Number 7, Michael Saylor. He's going to keep moving up on this list. 8 is going to be another anonymous. And 10 is also anonymous. And you have Jean-Louis Van der Velde at 3.9 billion here at number 9. So really cool to see just who's moving in this top list. I think there's going to be a day in maybe 3 or 4 years. There ain't no Forbes 30 list. They're just Bitcoin 30, and it's going to be like the top 30 Bitcoin holders in the world. That will be the richest people in the world.
There's a pretty good story. I don't know if it's in this article. It's someone had an ETH whale participated in an ICO, and then he lost his private keys, and now he would be on the top 10 list.
Man,
but it's
that's
actually
such a
his
bummer.
zero.
That boating accident really got him. That just terrible. But Paradigm, this is bullish, guys. Bullish. Paradigm to raise $850 million and biggest fundraise since crypto winter. I don't need to go in depth on this article. All you need to know, guys, is, through our sources, what we've been hearing, as well as what we're seeing, is tons of money being raised for altcoins.
I actually didn't realize it was a small amount. This guy right here, his name is Rain, and the tears probably rain from his eyeballs every single morning when he wakes up. So Rain, he was an Estonian businessman. He shelled out, $75,000. It's a lot of money, but really, when you see what it's worth now, it was not a lot of money. Shelled out $75K, and he got 250 ETH. Just one hitch. He lost the private keys to his ETH wallet years ago. It would be worth $869 million.
Whoa, man.
Ow.
Smash that like button just to give him some support, guys. But we have hundreds of millions entering this industry, and that's going to move us into now the altcoin section of the stream, guys. So, get excited. We have Roosevelt Taylor here buying some Avalanche and Brett yesterday. Thoughts on Brett? Thanks, fellas. Let me pull up Brett right here because there is a big problem with it.
If you get a lot of Brett profit on Avalanche, I would say, there's some strong projects on Avalanche that, maybe you can check out. I'll go ahead and give you some front ran information. QI, Ben Key. It's the DEX play. No, it's a DeFi play. Doing some research on that one. That one looks pretty juicy.
So Brett is, it's obviously the strongest meme coin on Base by far. This is the meme coin of Base Network. It's sitting at a $770 million market cap. What I would like to see is the liquidity definitely start just seeing a little bit more growth. It's only got 8 million in liquidity. So if you get a massive sell order of, let's say, 250,000 by some of these whales, you're going to get some pretty easy market manipulation and price action. So all I would say with Brett is, guys, just understand with these meme coins, they generally have lower liquidity, which just tends to mean they're going to be more volatile. So if you guys are holding meme coins are just a part of that category that is high risk, slot machine, like no utility. You kind of hope and pray. But it is looking pretty bullish, and only at a $700 million market cap, being the largest and biggest meme coin on Base, I do think it's going to see some upside here in this cycle, no problem.
There's you could trickle down to Toshi and Roost, are two smaller cap memes.
Toshi. I'm curious.
They're both
to see.
down a little bit today. I was looking earlier.
But notice the difference here, right? We have cost.
Oh, that's the Costco one. That's supposed to hit $1.50.
Cost is the
Costco hot dog.
Costco is a great narrative. So cost is it's a narrative based on the hot dog, and the hot dog's been pegged at $1.50. Get your hot dog and a soda, and so their narrative is it must go to $1.50 because Costco hot dogs are $1.50.
I like Toshi way better. I'm going to say that off the rip right here because it is a fourth of the market cap of Brett here, and it's got nearly 60% of the liquidity that Brett does. So
looks like a little trend line on the bottom side.
More
too,
liquidity, smaller market cap. Tons of 45,000 holders. It's looking like a pretty bullish pattern here too. So this might be, if I was choosing a meme coin, I don't trade meme coins, guys. I don't hold meme coins. This is up to you entirely. I would be definitely choosing Toshi here in part of that portfolio.
I am Will wants to get out of Canada for so many reasons. No affordable life here anymore. Well, come on south, man.
Come on south. So many good coins are currently trading at a discount. And 6 months from now, many people will be able or wishing they were able to buy more Bitcoin prices or Bitcoin at these prices again, guys. That is why we're moving into altcoins here. Ethereum earnings tripled in Q1 of 2024, reaching $370 million. We had Ethereum slide nearly to a 3-year low against Bitcoin against this crypto market pullback. And this, I think, actually, this is that conversation, right? I'm so bullish on Bitcoin layer 2s and DeFi because I do believe the Ethereum dominance against Bitcoin is going to become less and less over time, which doesn't mean I'm bearish on Ethereum. I think Ethereum could still go to $6,000, $7,000, $8,000. I just didn't think there's going to be such a larger ecosystem out there that the ETH dominance in comparison may not be as strong as it once was.
Well, I will say on the technicals, ETH Bitcoin trading pair is looking very bearish right now. This is a trend line that I first identified a long time ago and is dating all the way back to March 2016. This is the value of Ethereum relative to Bitcoin. So you see right now, it's worth 5% of a Bitcoin. So each ETH is equal to 1/20th of a Bitcoin. See, at one point, it was above 1/10. It actually hit around 1/7. And this is a very, very strong trend line, and we are below it. We're closing potentially a weekly candle below, and that is not going to be bullish at all, folks.
That's not bullish.
We don't want to.
It's very much so
we do
bearish.
not want to close that weekly candle below.
Well, we do have Ethereum stakers now ditching Lido for a new token, and this new token, guys, it's on Crypto Bubbles. ENA here, right? It's giant. It's green. Let me hit refresh here to see what it's at. 44.6%, the largest mover by far today. ENA, what is this project? So ENA, guys, is going to be a new staking ecosystem for Ethereum. It's called EtherFi. This is going to be, Ethereum is down by 4%. Actually, this is the wrong article. Did I just delete it? I did. Give me 1 second, easy to pull this up.
I could bring up the Cardano altcoin
pull it
rumors.
up.
All right, so I got there's rumors of Elon Musk adding Cardano. What's going on? Well, it's happening for two reasons. One, we got the World Mobile Starlink thing, but this is the other reason. And this is a pretty big account, 81,000 followers. Hey, Cardano feed, you follow me. I appreciate that. And if you look here, Elon Musk, he doesn't follow that many people relative to his followers for sure. 568 just started following Cardano feed. So the rumor mill going hog wild where, Cardano, something on Elon's radar. He wants to learn more because it may be added into X payments alongside Doge and ETH and Bitcoin and others.
Yeah, put 1 in the chat if you think he bought it, 2 if you don't. I'm going to say he didn't, but I do want to say he's obviously falling for just more experience and expertise and insight on the altcoin market. So is Tesla or SpaceX going to start taking crypto again? Because I don't think you can even use Bitcoin right now to buy Tesla still. I don't know if they brought that back.
I think they actually did bring it back.
If they did,
but here
I
we
need to go
have,
buy one
here's
today.
the other rumor. Popular Cardano Twitter account has possibly connect the dots in terms of a partnership, quote unquote, between World Mobile Token and Starlink. Whispers of a clandestine partnership. No, it's with Starlink customers. With Starlink customers. So, pretty big difference right there, but still bullish. And I love World Mobile Token, and the thing is pumping. And it's part of the what was it? The DPIN category that we were talking about. We got compute, we got storage, we got communication. World Mobile Token is the communication leg of the DPIN trifecta.
Yeah, it's crazy that Elon Musk doesn't have the poll he once did, like in last cycle. Like
the poll
he does.
You talking like Amber Heard broke it?
No, like as in he tweets about a token and it definitely pumps the price, right?
When he was talking about a different type of
tweeting things would just pump. Like Elon Musk needs to come back wholly to this market and get us going up to that $80,000 level. But speaking of ENA here, guys, that last article wasn't ENA because ENA is Athena. The other one with EtherFi was a different article. That's why I wanted to pull this one up. This thread is, should you be a part of that airdrop? So the reason why this thing has seen such a large valuation, $550 million was airdropped in the total at the current ENA valuation. And so people made tons of money off this. Now, ENA is getting FUD, okay? ENA is getting FUD for one reason and one reason only. And that's going to be, if I pull up the chart here, this is why liquidity matters. Let me show you guys Toshi one more time, right? I'm going to show you Toshi. Toshi's a 200 million market cap, right? It has 5.56 million in liquidity, all right? Let's pull up ENA, Athena right here. ENA, $1 billion or $1.45 billion market cap, only 6 million in liquidity. So Nick, I know you were in the Twitter space. What does this usually tend to mean in terms of price action for these projects? And why do people get scared when there's such a little amount of liquidity available for a large market cap project?
Well, because their coins are basically frozen. Like you can't move them out easily. So there's not a lot of people able to sell. There may be a lot of buy pressure, but it's just not good to have that kind of inversion that bad for market cap to liquidity, especially when you're trying to stake Ethereum. And that's where they were just getting raked over the coals. They're like, why should we leave Lido? What's the upside? You're promising more yield. Where's the yield come from?
Yeah. And they couldn't answer that.
They couldn't. He was just like, well, yeah, I mean, there's like a black swan event. I'm like, no. I'm not talking about black swan events. Where does the yield come from?
Yeah.
And they couldn't really answer it.
Yeah. And so what I'm going to say on this one is if you guys are not anything part of that airdrop, I'm not touching this one with a 10-foot pole. As of right now, because of the liquidity issue.
It could be great. Kobe's behind it. Arthur Hayes is behind it. It's got smart people, but
smart people have more liquidity.
Too.
So I'm curious to know why Arthur Hayes and them haven't brought up the liquidity function issue.
They've got the money, for God's sake.
Like put in another 6. Like if it was at 15 million, 20 million, You know, we want to be like, oh my goodness.
Well, tell you what, I'll reach out to the Athena team and see if they'll come on the show and talk about it.
I would love to hear about, because launching at such a large market cap with such low liquidity definitely just gives me that.
Well, here's the thing. When you have smaller liquidity and there's a general bullish sentiment, it's going to pump harder.
But it's going to crash the hardest.
When there's a negative sentiment, all they have to do is have buy bots that make sure it doesn't hit that realm.
True. I mean, yeah. So
look, it's probably easier to set up a $10 million buy bot than it is to add $100 million liquidity.
That is honestly sad, but 100% true. So what I would say to this is it's higher risk for me if you're entering it. You know, I'd be taking profits as soon as I can because, again, it is $1.45 billion market cap, low liquidity. There is some FUD around that narrative right now. We have, on top of that, let's move over to Noble and Frax. Frax has been getting a massive update into the Cosmos ecosystem. We are excited to partner with Frax Finance, with Noble here, to bring their innovative suite of decentralized stablecoins to the Cosmos ecosystem. So if anybody holds Frax here at $6.53. Frax, I like to click on market cap, of course, right? This is what me and DZ love showing you guys. From a market cap perspective, it's been here for multiple cycles. It survived the bear market. It was in the previous one. Sitting at like a 500 mil market cap with the price of that $6.53 here, this is a big interoperable update where you might want to look for that position size. So right now it's hovering at a very strong support level at $6.43. If that breaks, you're looking to the downside potential of $5.20 or so. So shout out to everybody that's in there with the Frax community. But on the daily here, RSI is almost completely oversold. I wanted to just show this chart because, you know, someone that's just been in the cycle, this is looking like a juicy flip and a potential trade opportunity. I don't hold Frax. I'm not connected to Frax. I'm not sponsored with Frax. I don't work with them. This was just like a, hey, big interoperability upgrade, meaning more liquidity could come in. This is a chart that looks like it hasn't moved quite yet.
Eric Carlson, people are sleeping on Cosmos too, aka Adam. Tia, part of that, probably my favorite coin in that ecosystem.
Yeah, I think people are definitely sleeping. I think interoperability and cross-chain is going to be one of the biggest narratives, which is why in last night's video, guys, if you haven't watched it, go check it out. It's honestly, the watch time is insane. We're changing the thumbnail on this bad boy because this is literally, man, I use that word again. This is one of the best videos I think I've made because it gives you guys insight on how to find the next biggest trends in crypto. And straight up at the end of this, I teach you how to do a trade using the largest channels out there in the crypto markets that are producing 500,000 views per video. You're definitely going to want to check out that because it is a gem of a video and not a lot of people want to talk about what I teach you in that episode. Past that today, we have CoinGecko now coming out. Well, we're still on the Frax side here. CoinGecko with the top 8 most profitable crypto narratives. So speaking of the narrative video, guys, meme coins was number 1 in this year. RWAs is followed behind that. AI and DPIN, you'll notice, are starting to fade away. Right, this is what I talked about with the GTC Summit, the peak of it, March 18th. There's always a new trend. There's always new narratives. Right now, the hottest one, I believe, is RWAs. I do think it might overtake meme coins with 1 or 2 major announcements if we do get a pullback in memes, because memes are just, they're hot right now.
Well, you know, I did in Cardano price, so let me see what it is in regular price. Oh, wow. So I did 5 Cardano altcoins. The RWA altcoin, it is up 16% today.
Wow.
Nice.
Yeah. It's part of it. So it's that's crazy. So it's just 16% in one day. That's just unheard of. But
is that the video? There's no way. No, because it was the day before. I was about to say, you mad lads are out there pumping that.
They're just mad lads. That's
okay.
Yeah. Well, no. What was it?
That was the crash. Okay, so someone bought the dip. Someone bought the dip. Said, you know, this thing is cheap and juicy, and then they're handsomely rewarded.
So this is how so it's a great point that you bring this up because guys, you want to catch narratives when they're in this part of the market. If we pull up the screen here, you want to catch the narrative when it's being formed, when it's being created, when it's not doing anything. When the tokens you're holding, you're like, man, this narrative is going to be huge, but the tokens you're getting into are jumping by like 50%, but they're kind of break even. They just keep going back and forth and they're not breaking out. They're just consolidating or they're accumulating. You want to get into this range. Now, the hardest part about this, even though I just made a Costco hot dog, is the fact that you have to hold. You have to have patience. It could take months sometimes, if not years. Like, for example, decentralized science. It took me a year, and then finally it hit. And if you can get into those narratives before they take off, that is where the money is made, not at the top of the market. Of course, you can still get in. For example, AI and DPIN. Of course, I think there's more upside to AI and DPIN cryptos. I just think that upside is a lot smaller than other narratives that are starting to take off. So some of those narratives they've listed here are meme coins, RWAs, AI, DeFi, but I want to pay attention to the ones at the bottom. right? I want to pay attention to the ones that are just now starting to either gain mainstream attention or the ones that aren't on this list. What is number 9? What is number 10? And of course, in number 9 and 10, I break those down in the crypto narrative video that we uploaded last night. And you're definitely going to want to check it out. But I am going to tell you one of them in this episode, which is what I believe to be Chainlink's CCIP ecosystem. So this is cool. Okay, if you look at cross-chain interoperability protocol on Chainlink, right? We can click on ecosystem here. Click on Chainlink ecosystem. Let me see if I can find the exact. Here it is. You go right here. Go to this tab. Discover the latest projects using Chainlink. Now, what I want to find in this are going to be products that are part of two things. One, the CCIP. Two is going to be their new build or their BIDL incubation program, right? If you scroll down, actually, I think I have to click on see all first. So if I could click on all projects, you'll be able to see them. So look at this one. This one is integrated with CCIP. That's what that word is right here. CCIP integration. You'll notice that some of them are part of the build program, but not CCIP integration. I am personally trying to find the ones and paying attention to the ones that are going to be part of both the build and that CCIP functionality.
That makes sense.
I think it's like double the efforts here. And so there's a lot of products on this that are unheard of that haven't even been launched yet. Check out this one, Zoomer Coin, CCIP, which is funny. It's a meme coin. There's a lot of tokens on this that are just now being developed. And I think you can find some hidden gems on that website. So smash that like button, smash that, subscribe for our channel, guys, because you're not getting that alpha anywhere else. Do you have any products you want to pull up?
I got something here. So, if you look at the biggest gainers of the day, we had Athena, we had Flare, but then after that, you have BitGet token. BitGet token's up 17%, it's up 42%. And so I remember there was a big BitGet announcement 24 hours ago or so. I went to their official Twitter. I had no idea it was this many people. 1.3 million followers, probably mostly bots, but let's just say, a percentage of that is real. The last thing they did, they tweeted about ENA. Okay, that makes sense. But what was the thing they talked about previously? Look at that. It is Iagon. Iagon official. They are now giving away $2,000 worth. This has been seen 10,000 times. They also tweeted about it right before that with big spaces there. So Iagon is it's a coin that we talked about weeks and weeks ago. I still feel like it's a slightly undervalued gem. It is a D-pin play on Cardano. It is up slightly, even though I think Cardano is down slightly here. I remember when we jumped in at months ago. I think I remember it was just as this thing started to move to the upside. Those who took profit, I would say, you might not want to miss the train when it does leave the station. I think it is going to leave the station.
Yeah, I would have to.
$81 million market cap too.
Wow.
Pretty small.
So still pretty low here. How can liquidity and market cap be different? That's just how market. So liquidity is going to be just how much money is available in terms of like, if I make a sell order, let's make it simple. If there's $100 in liquidity and you sell $1, that's like essentially 1% of the total amount of liquidity, which means the chart can move pretty much 1%. Now it's not the exact math around it, but market cap is just how much value the market perceives that token as. So it's just an arbitrary number of what buyers and sellers are trading for in terms of that price. But the actual amount of money that's there to be able to be sold on the open market is always going to be way lower.
Yeah, market cap, the value of every token. Liquidity, the value of the tokens in the trading pool.
Yes.
The higher the value of the trading pool, the less it.
Really recommend you guys learn and check out what that means. We have Manta, another sleeper. Manta, great point. Okay, let's pull up the Manta chart here. Maybe you want to pull up some TA on it from TradingView here. But Manta Network sitting at $2.75. If we look at the max here, it was, of course, just launched on January on the 22nd. And it's been pretty much consolidating. I mean, at its range right now of $2.75, it's at a pretty significant support range. And I would like to see the TradingView side of this.
Yeah,
and see if the RSI is oversold.
Yeah, well, look at here. I mean, if we share my screen here, we got a little bit of a trend line forming. Looks like maybe there's a slightly better entrance at $2.63, 65 cents. Getting now at $2.76. That doesn't seem that bad. But caution, this is a new coin. I mean, it launched January, so TA, the smaller amount of time, the not as effective the TA is going to be. But this looks like a pretty strong trend line.
We have people asking about LimeWire. LimeWire is hitting all-time highs today at $1.69.
He threw out the false claim. We're the only channel not talking about LimeWire. No, we're the only channel talking about it. Okay, because you spammed it enough time.
Wait, did I say we're not? Did I say that? Or
no,
who said
he
that?
said that. He typed that in. Like
I just read LimeWire. Well, either way, $1.69, you'd be coming into all-time highs. So obviously off the rip at $100 million market cap. I'd be cautious. I want to see a retracement. I want to see something if I'd be picking this up. But personally, this is an AI art studio. We've covered it a few times on the channel here. And I think we've kind of had these similar perspective on this. Like, it was smart of them to buy LimeWire because having that and the rights to that is going to be strong from a retail perspective. So when you're on Twitter, when you're advertising on Google, or you're advertising just on any platform, your older audience, which is, I would say, probably 30 plus, will know what LimeWire is, very like in depth. They are going to be like, oh, wow, we know what that project is. They're starting their own company. Like, I'm going to get into this crypto because I trust this project, but it's not actually the same entity. They bought the rights to it, and they're using LimeWire now to promote their AI product and tool system, which I still think is effective, right? They got a lot of chat GPT style models. It's just an AI studio. How high can that go? I don't know.
We got a $5 super chat. Matic 2.0. When is that happening? What RWAs are on Polygon? When it does happen, we don't have the exact date, but you have 2 years to make the switch there, 18 or 24 months. So it's not going to be, I was in a coma for 2 months and I woke up and all my crypto's gone. It's going to be a multi-year event where you can, have plenty of time. On LimeWire, I saw a little bit of a flag forming there, and it looks like it broke out of the pennant there. Looks like a pretty strong psychological support, a resistance level right around $2. I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of selling pressure starts kicking in around $1.80, $1.90. Also, though, where they say where it wicks, it sticks. So I wouldn't be surprised to see it, do another little blast up, do a little leg up. But don't be afraid to take profits on some of these tokens.
Blast from the past. Got a lot of Jules Jordan videos on LimeWire back in the day. It's definitely been around. We have $2.40 and $2.80. Manta is a good buy, I think. It's honestly accumulating. It's a strong project. Look how Bitcoin dumping right now, dragging alts with it. Traders beware. Check Rune chart. 1 minute versus Bitcoin 1 minute, identical. Bitcoin controls trading markets right now. Yeah, guys, I mean, Bitcoin is the leader of these markets. So it is down to 65,800 right now. It's hovering at a pretty significant support range right now. Again, we're looking at, if I were to zoom out.
It is not the leader of the market because I've identified one coin that is behaving differently.
What's the one coin?
I don't know. Someone's going to say.
Did you get me?
Flare.
Dang, true. Well, AI tokens, AI coins. Let's zoom back in on this, right? So you just drew this out. We still are in a very bullish sentiment. I don't necessarily believe we're going to go back down to 61K. There's a lot of people screaming for that $61,000 that we're going to drop back down to this range, right? We're going to see some support at this previously weekly close. I'm more under the fact that we're in this bullish pennant. We're following the same historical patterns of the 4-year cycle. We're hovering around previous all-time highs. It's going to be taking us a few weeks, if not a few, maybe a few more days, but to really break through that and be able to push to the upside. We're 3 weeks away from the Bitcoin halving. So right now, if we do see a pullback, you do see Rune, you do see your favorite projects, whether it's based AI or whatever you guys are talking about in chat here, Blast or BRG, and they're seeing these retracements, that's when you want to look for that opportunity to pick those up, because altcoins, when they move up, they move quicker. When they move down, they move quicker, right? So when Bitcoin is fluctuating, it's going to constantly bring other prices down in that ecosystem. That's when you want to accumulate. Let me pull up the fear and greed index, right? You want to buy when there's blood in the streets. You want to sell when everybody is greedy. So you want to traditionally be looking to buy when we are on this. Can I not draw on this website? Yeah, I can. You want to buy at this 50%, right? I like to dollar cost average DCA around this zone. I like to go heavy when we're in the dark red. But, we've been in the dark green for weeks. At this range, this is when we were at 73K Bitcoin. We were at 83. We were at 82. I think we even saw a high of 90 at one point. We are getting a bit of a cool down period, and you're going to see a lot higher of greed on the fear and greed index in a bull run. That just comes naturally. So unless you get a black swan, like we saw in 2021 with Bitcoin being shut down with miners in China that brought the price down by 50%. It was just boom, slap this across the face. We now have institutions here. We have the Bitcoin ETF products. I don't see a world where we, go back below 50K ever again. Can we get to the high 50s? I don't know where your thoughts are on that either.
Well, and there's one entity.
It's obviously yes.
There's another entity we didn't mention, Mr. 100 out here just buying almost as much as these ETFs many days.
Oh, wow.
1 hour ago, the day is young. And Mr. 100 already has 300 more Bitcoin. That's 2,566 in just 5 days. Big shout out to Invest Answers. Invest Answers Doesn't love Cardano, but you know what? He still has good content.
Yeah, and I want to point out too, for a better visual representation here, guys. When your price on the Fear and Greed Index is above 70, check out this line, right? Check this out. When it's above 70, you generally get a correction after. Above 70, correction. Above 70, you had little dips, flash crash. In the bear market, even, we touched 70. We had a bit of dip. We almost came up to it. We had a dip. So, we are at this point. We're testing that 70 level here. We are due for a dip, but again, in that bullish trend, you'll notice that we haven't been getting as much fear on the markets because of the financial products that are launching. So I would just take that into account. You want to buy when it's below that 20 range, and that's, of course, where you go heavy, but those are very rare.
Hey, speaking of 20 range, you should probably buy some Chainlink, everybody. Let me just do a little Chainlink bull post. Welcome. Link Toad tweeted this out, 3,000 followers. Chainlink's new vice president of engineering, Yossi, previously director of engineering at Amazon Web Cloud Services for 8 years, principal engineering manager at Microsoft for 15 years. Chainlink, you guys aren't ready, folks.
Go check it out, guys. Thank you for watching. We'll see you guys here tomorrow. And let us know in the comments, what altcoins are you picking up next?